Alperen Sengun last night, going up against who he has said is his idol in Nikola Jokic, and it's very clear. In fact, I would say, there's a lot of guys. Domantas Sabonis is an example of this, of people who said, "Oh, this is a Jokic type player." I've always thought, kind of, not really. Alperen Sengun is the first guy to me that I look at and I say, no, that is a clear Jokic mold. It's not just that he can pass from the elbows. It's not just that he has a little bit of that gay inside outside game. There's more to it. It's how do you see the court? Are you threading the needle on specific, not just hitting open guys, but throwing guys open? Alperen Sengun to me represents that. He's not a good passer. He's a great one. Last night, 23 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks. And another Jokic trait, great shot selection. Took 18 shots last night. I don't think any of them were bad. He knew what his shots were. So as we break down Alperen Sengun, where do you want to start? What stands out to you about what makes this guy so impactful?
Yeah. So all right, I dropped the Jokic comparison in the last segment, and there's no question that is who he's modeled himself after, and it's the closest replicate we have. Now, everybody don't lose your minds. We're not comparing him to Jokic in any way, shape, or form. Jokic is a champion. He's a multiple-time MVP. Right now, he's the best player in the world. But the way he plays. Okay, now here's some things that stand out to me. You talk about his elbow passing, which is a big part of being able to run an offense. Where you have a big guy that can pass the ball like that, you can hit him in the middle of the floor, and he can make reads. He also has an ability to catch the ball with his back to the basket, and this is really hard for young players to do. Catch it, guy on your back. There's traffic. Maybe there's a cutter. Maybe there's a cutter down the lane. Maybe a guy cuts baseline while you have the ball in your hands, and they run right off your shoulder. He never goes before the traffic clears.
Right.
He waits and he watches the traffic. And then out of that post position, I've seen him throw every imaginable pass there is. He's wrapped it around his back and the defender that's on his backside. He's wrapped it around both of them to a baseline cutter. I've seen him catch the ball and throw it over his head to a guy cutting from the weak side of the floor without his head ever even moving, because he's got such a feel peripherally of what's going on over there. The other thing he understands, this is really, I think, Jokic at his best. He understands leverage defensively that he is feeling. So his spins and his ability to turn corners on guys in the post and get either to the lane, to the front of the rim, or get to the baseline for something good. His timing on when to spin is impeccable. And it might not, let me see if I can clarify that a little bit more. If a guy's banging you in the back with his forearm and he's hitting you, you get a rhythm to that and you feel it. And then you time it up. When their weight is coming forward, you make the spin. And now the defender is off balance. I've never seen anybody do it better than Jokic. Sengun has a lot of that in his game. He's got a great feel for when to spin. So he's always on balance at the exact time the defender is losing his. And now he creates a better lane for himself to get something up at the rim.
I love this point right here, because we just talked on Friday about Jonathan Kuminga. And one of my critiques of him was that he has this enormous size advantage, especially in the Warrior system where guys are switching, but he doesn't know how to use it. What you're talking about is using the size advantage, because it's all about make a guy take a half step left or a half step right and then spin the other direction. That's how you gain a foot here, a foot there. And the next thing you know, you're in the restricted area and you're in the danger zone where that little flip shot is working. You're right that Jokic is the best at this. I mean, Jokic just goes left. You take a half step left. Now he's right. Now you got to take 2 steps right to catch up. Now it's a half step. And it's just constantly doing that until next thing you know, you're buried under the basket. That's what you're talking about with Sengun. And you're right. That's using your size advantage. He's 6'11". He's got a wide body on him relative to most NBA players, and he gets you off balance. And that's as valuable as a quick first step, because it's accomplishing the same thing. It's putting teams in rotation and getting to the restricted area.
And it requires patience, strength, a feel and an awareness for where traffic situations might be, so you don't get yourself, behind the backboard or spinning into a double team coming from the top. And a lot of young players, post players, catch the ball in the post and they just can't wait to go. And you get yourself in trouble. You get yourself tangled up. And he doesn't do that. The other area kind of reminds me of Jokic, and you saw this a couple times last night. He's got this quirky little one-step puts one step in, he squares up on you and puts one foot in the air and leans back, and you have no idea he's about to shoot the ball, and it's out of his hand because he
What is
doesn't jump.
this? What do
He
you
doesn't jump.
make of this?
It's very bizarre looking, but it's clearly something he practices. And I think what he's doing is he's taking advantage of the fact that, again, he's looking you in the eye and he realizes you're not in a state of readiness. So rather than go ahead and jump, by the way, when you jump, all kinds of things can happen on a jump shot. You can mistime your release and different things. You don't jump the same height on every shot. You kind of give it away a little bit more when you jump because you release it a half a second later. When you just square up on a guy, and and this is so hard to do. Luka does a lot of this with the deceleration stuff on his drives. Think about decelerating at a time when you're have the most traffic in front of you. Very difficult to make your body do that because you want to speed up and get that thing up to the glass as fast as you can. Luka's so good at go hard first 2 dribbles and then stop and slow down and let everything happen around him. Release the ball when I'm ready to. And that's kind of what Sengun does. He's just going to lean back, nice pace and rhythm on it. He shoots it so comfortably that he's so accurate with it. I saw him. He got him twice last night at important times, 2 big shots in the fourth quarter, where he just leaned back, didn't jump, 1 foot in the air, and releases it before you have a chance to react to it. So he's just a smart, fun player. His passing ability probably stands out more than anything. He's not a great athlete. He's good enough athletically, but it's about the IQ and how cerebral, and then the skill with the passing and understanding, what he's trying to accomplish. That's, I think, the best comparison to Jokic.